If you or someone you care for is coping with illness, you most likely spend time consulting Dr. Google, hoping to find the latest information that may help. But with so much information out there, the results can be overwhelming, irrelevant, too general, and often miss the mark completely. Well, MedAdvisor has the solution. MedAdvisor looks at your medical situation and presents you exclusively relevant information. Unlike other medical information websites, MedAdvisor's platform custom fits to your needs, and the updates give you peace of mind because you'll always stay abreast of the latest developments. How does MedAdvisor work? When you sign up, you'll be asked a series of insightful questions about your illness severity, treatment history, and other related questions. Based on your answers, MedAdvisor sifts through thousands of research papers, clinical trials, guidelines, and warnings, and finds the most essential information related to your situation, and presents them in a way you can understand. MedAdvisor makes coping with your illness that much more manageable. It's like your own private research guide, so you know the options available and can make the most informed decisions possible. Sign up now for your private and free MedAdvisor subscription. MedAdvisor. Health information. Personalized.
We are seeing people suffer catastrophic losses from hurricanes, floods, and fire, devastating illnesses, a financial crisis. When you are at your weakest is when you need to be at your strongest. We are here to remind you it's up to you. Today on It's Up to You, we are taking a journey into patient empowerment and cancer treatment. More than 1.2 million Americans develop cancer every year, and a new diagnosis is made every 30 seconds. When you or a family member get the news, where are you to begin? Who can you turn to? You can turn to MedAdvisor. Welcome, Tal. Tell us what happens when someone gets that diagnosis and how they should come to you.
Sure. So obviously it's a life-changing diagnosis. It's something that you blank out. You can't remember what's going on. You basically, anything that your doctor or healthcare provider tells you is kind of not really cutting it. It doesn't penetrate, and you're in shock. But as you start emerging from this, you're at home, and where do you go? You hit Dr. Google. And from Dr. Google, you're in the throes of the wild, wild web, where you're overwhelmed with repetitive, irrelevant, outdated, unreliable, unsafe health information. You don't know what matters to you or your loved one, and you can't make sense of it all. And that's really the situation. But as you start developing a greater understanding, you're still confused because there's just so much out there. I mean, it's hard to imagine. Every year there are 20,000 research papers published just on breast cancer.
Oh my goodness.
There are right now 1,577 open interventional recruiting clinical trials for breast cancer patients. And you would like to know that your doctor actually knows what's the latest medical science. But it takes 17 years for latest discoveries to become part of clinical care. So we at MedAdvisor thought people really are eager to know what's the latest and greatest and be able to do things and manage their care from a point of knowledge, knowing all the science that's out there. So we decided to mine the medical literature, the clinical trials, figure out what of that could help, and deliver it only to the people that it matters, those that are most affected.
But I noticed, let's take breast cancer for an example. So there's a bunch of kinds of breast cancer. There's estrogen positive, there's different receptors. So someone needs to know more detailed information about their particular kind of breast cancer. And so they have to know first to get a specific information about what they have, and then they can use that information to get information from you.
Precisely. I mean, that's exactly it. Everyone is unique. Every person is different. And their treatment history, their other conditions that they have, their age, everything about them, where they are in their journey through this is different. And that's what is different. When you go to Google or the web, basically you don't have that fidelity, that distinction between these things. In MedAdvisor, you create a profile. And you tell MedAdvisor all these details, the estrogen receptor positive, the genetic mutations that you found, the treatments you've already received, everything that you can. And that personalizes the information. So that's what cuts down from the 20,000 research papers to just those that matter, those treatment options that are relevant, those clinical trials that you may be eligible for. So it's really knowing those specifics that is what makes us different than anything else.
And knowing those specifics, like you also assist people with information about clinical trials, and that will help you not face rejection if you apply for a clinical trial,
right,
because you've already pre-screened yourself to know that you belong there. And in addition, there's so much personalization that needs to be brought into medicine nowadays. It's really lacking. Doctors don't get to spend the time that they used to spend with you. And by doing the research yourself, being your own advocate, it creates an opportunity for you to get more of what you want.
I think I love the title of your show. It's up to you. It's really up to you. When you're a patient, you can't really assume that yes, the doctors want to do the best they can for you, but it's really ultimately up to the family, the patient, their caregivers, to help navigate their health. And for that, you need to be empowered. It's not enough to just say, yes, I'll do whatever you say. That's a good step forward, but really you need to navigate your health, and therefore you need to know what are the options. You need to educate yourself. And the cutting edge is where you need to be able to distinguish between bad information, which is a lot of the information out there, anecdotal information, which are patient stories that are not relevant for you, to what's really relevant to your situation.
And you have a tool that does that. And I understand it's free for the patients. Like, you don't charge them for accessing the tool.
Right. It's just, you go to medadvisor.com and you could sign up. You need to put in information, use an email address to actually access that information, create a password to protect that private information, and then you start receiving what is the latest medical science that's relevant for you. First, it begins with a personalized report. What are your treatment options in your situation? And it then updates whenever there's something new.
And I understand this is very personal for you, that you went through this journey with your own daughter.
Yeah, so not too long ago, my wife and I were brought into a room and told that our otherwise healthy 15-year-old daughter is suddenly going to need a new heart.
Oh my goodness.
And I recall that situation actually, and we didn't get a single piece of paper or anything. I mean, there was basically, that's the news. What do you think you do after that? Okay, so you have to take things into your own hand. Of course, doctors help you, but we needed to move her one hospital, the other hospital, another country, till we managed to get her to the best medical care that we could. Thankfully, she's doing well. She got a new heart very quickly, and she's doing well. But you need to. We took control, and I advise everybody to do that. MedAdvisor is a tool you could use. It's not the only thing, but it's, as far as I know, the only thing that gives you latest, cutting-edge, trusted medical science that could help in your specific situation.
If you find out that you have a diagnosis, MedAdvisor is a tool that you can use to help save your life, save the life of your loved one. Thank you very much, Tal, for coming on the show.
Thanks, Minda. It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back with an angel right after the break.